letter gives advice to his future children about how to fly. Please welcome Spencer Mirabal.
How are y'all doing?
Yeah.
So quick sort of PSA. I recently became the creative director of Chacombe Street Poets, which used to be Fabian Harper, GF Harper's nonprofit. We are restarting our open mic starting next month, which we'll announce next week at Flat Track Coffee Roasters. So it's going to be a new late night open mic. Bring your beer, bring your dogs, bring writing. This is a poem I wrote totally drunk on an airplane. So you know it's going to be awesome. I had lived in Austin for about a year and I was feeling a little depressed about maybe I should move back home, maybe I should leave, it hasn't been really going my way, and I told my friend all this staying in her apartment we just moved her into, and she said, yeah, maybe, but I think you have a little bit left to do in Austin, which at the moment wasn't profound at all because again I was really drunk. So I'm like, oh, that's great. Fell asleep. And so when I was on the plane, I wrote this poem, and it's going to be in this chapbook I'm working on. So this is to teach your kids how to fly. My feet are so cold. It is September in Seattle, and my feet are stupidly cold. All of us here in the tunnel waiting to board the plane are tired sardines in a can someone bought, well knowing they would never actually eat sardines, and now come to think of it, never actually enjoyed sardines, but are now feeling guilty and stupid that they wasted their spending money, yet again, on a needless grocery whim. So they shamefully shove us in the back left corner of the fridge for the eventual next tenant of the apartment to find and wonder, hey Siri, how long do sardines last? That's how long we've been waiting to board this plane. I've had time to write poetry in my head, and that train of thought got me to wondering how long sardines last in the fridge. 5 years. Can sardines last 5 years? And the comfort quality will likely degrade. At some point, I start watching a woman wearing a blouse with a purple and orange triangle pattern ahead of me. Her hand gripped onto like a rock climbing wall by her daughter. The woman shows her how to kiss her palm and press it to the nose of the plane before boarding, thanking it for a hopeful safe passage. In the gap between the tunnel and the plane, the girl looks up at the predictably gray clouds like they were a slow stampede of elephants. Like they were titans, like they were her in her dreams. So many places, so many planes, so many layovers and delays and overpriced bagels and losing cheapo headphones and calling friends from different time zones. I had forgotten what it was like to be alone in a new feeling. Began to remember what awe looked like, began to think about how I would teach my children how to travel for the first time, because that's the sort of thought free apology drinks or an airline will get you. How can I commemorate trips like Christmas, how can we commemorate trips like Christmas wish kittens like strawberry crepes for Saturday breakfast like a giant primary colored parachute in a gym? So I wrote 8 of them on a series of Alaska Airline napkins. 1. Your grandma Jean always insisted that I be at an airport 2 hours before a flight to avoid being strapped for time. But your mother has taught me the importance of breakfast and the thrill of resting too long. 20 minutes before the plane takes off is perfect time to arrive. So sleep in. Rest your head on your mother's warm lap for a moment longer. I will be there with coffee and apple juice when it is time. 2. Wear sandals, your old ones, the ones with the bottoms worn out from fighting stormtroopers in the park and that funky smell from your sweaty soles. I know you're aching to wear those super cool light up sneakers that you're super stoked to show your grandma Linda Mack when we land, because you want her to be super impressed that they look like police lights because she was a police officer, and that is super cool to you. Truthfully, we're making you do this to get through TSA faster because we are very, very late. But don't be ashamed of how torn up or worn out they may look. Be proud. It shows you walked a path where only you know where the bud came from and the shade of green the sunlight makes through the leaves. Have small loves that are yours and yours alone. 3. Make a point to ask the woman taking her order at McDonald's how her day is going. It may only be 5 a.m., but it's important to make people feel like people every day. Converse, chitty chat, if only for a moment. Her hair is black like a panther and her glasses a spotted cheetah. Tell her this as we leave. Ask her if the panther and the cheetah ever wrestle and play together, and when we walk away, always exclaim, have a great day. You make everyone around you the happiest and best version of themselves. 4. Don't forget your McGriddle. Sausage, egg, hold the cheese. It's too early for cheese. 5, when you run the opposite direction on the very exciting floor escalator, just be sure to never invade others' hula hoop space. Imagine your hula hoop is made of one of those long bubbles made from 2 sticks and a string. How on earth will you be able to show everyone your giant crystal snake if you run into them? Enjoy your own hula hoop. Fill it with tiny dark chocolates and board games, and only invite others into it who know your worth for a play date 6. Always take the window seat, even if it's too bright to keep open. Paint rainforests and snowy mountains on the great plastic window shade. Your crayons are your 10 fingers. Use colors that have never been imagined yet. 7. I cannot help you if your ears hurt. If the pressure from the cabin is pounding inside them, I cannot stop Starburst to hand you to help pop them from tasting terrible. They've always tasted terrible, and only sometimes work. And me coming up with corny metaphors for terrible periods in our lives just makes the whole thing that much more crummy. We get it, Dad. You write about things being like other things. But it's true. Pain is a boomerang thrown for us, reminding our palms how to catch. Our attitudes are a candy rack at the grocery store checkout, an impulse buy that's ours to choose. Just don't pick Starburst. They are sweet cake garbage. 8. If you listen to a sad song and find your eyes welling up, don't cover them away from me. Let tears run down your soft cheek quietly like a hot creek and carve a valley of empathy. Grip my hand as tight as you like. Know that I love you more than anything in this lifetime. Give me one of your earbuds, I will listen. I will cry a creek with you. Your grip is so strong. You are growing up so fast. I love you more than anything in this lifetime. At baggage claim in Austin, I watched the palm-kissing woman's daughter. I watched her be as patient can be, waiting for her tiny suitcase. And when it arrived, it was purple and orange, and her mother let her lift it off the conveyor belt all by herself. They walked away hand in hand. She gripped her hand so tight. My feet are so warm. Thank you.